Hi guys, Sean Bodine here with some more gameplay footage, but as you can probably tell by the sound quality, that this is not the headset that I normally use while recording my footage from PlayStation. I decided to try something new since my headset that I normally use while talking, while playing these games, isn't exactly in the best condition, so I am using my headset from my laptop. Anyways, this is my very first video showing off Girls Und Panzer, and we're doing a domination match with Saunders. Now, for some reason, whenever you choose a certain team, you always play as the main character for said team. Like Saunders, Kay is the main character. By that, I mean she has more screen time as opposed to Naomi or Alyssa. But it's pretty cool to try out all these different teams fighting against each other as opposed to just sticking with Miho and everyone else from Ori. As a matter of fact, once this conversation is done, you'll see that we actually will be fighting Uri first. What did Alyssa forget? Oh, we've won 5 times. It seems the organizer will give us a prize. I wonder what the prize is. The only one I've seen so far was Pravda, where Katusha wanted to be bigger, but they actually couldn't do that. But it was nice to see the picture where Katusha was asleep with Nana and Clara looking over her, while Katusha was dreaming of herself being taller. There's still more! There's more? Oh, a super Hollywood producer is also one of the organizers. That is interesting. Well, you know, Hollywood loves tanks because they make a lot of good moments in movies, and we all know how much Hollywood loves making movies. An interesting fact, I remember reading about how people back in the 20s when movies were newer, people actually wanted to film a lot of their films in Hollywood because they liked seeing all the sunsets. I've never actually been there myself, but my brother's been living there for about a year now. I'd like to go see what it's like. Ooh, Takashi. I thought it was Tadashi. That would be an interesting Big Hero 6 reference. Of course, Saunders would also need to have Baymax on their team. Could you imagine him driving a Sherman or a Firefly, attacking Panzers or Type 95s or whatever tanks they come across? Tadashi is here. I like how, despite being Japanese, like they still speak English from time to time because Saunders, like their school has like an American theme. And there's a lot of people that think that Kay actually is American, but she's not. All the characters are Japanese, but it's interesting to hear all the different accents they try out. Like, they're always switching from Japanese to English. Like, okay. Takami. Ooh, Kelly's Heroes reference. Of course, Yukari doesn't like it when they call her that. Sometimes she's okay when Kay does it, but like in the TV show when like Mako or someone else does it, she's like, stop saying that already! You don't have to increase your strength. Kay always focuses on fair play. We are looking forward to this. Well, maybe. Considering that they have all these Shermans, they might kick your ass for a change. Oh god, they're calling Alice a Sundeer. I gotta be honest though, the 6 girls that make up Rabbit Team, they're my least favorite. Because I feel like when I watch the first season, they're so retarded. They literally just abandon their tank in the middle of a match, or like they'll go somewhere where they can't actually climb up hills or something. Alright, they get better as the season continues, and then you get on to the film, and they shoot the Ferris wheel, and they finally do something right. I still have to watch that finale. Oh. something interesting. Kay is actually the flag tank in here, but in the show, the flag tank was Alyssa. It would be nice, though. I mean, I love Kay. She's my favorite, but it would be nice if I could try out different characters instead of just being Kay all the time, you know? There's got to be other people that agree with me about that. Oh, the bottom right corner. This is nothing. Everyone, hurry up. Now, when I was doing this, I figured all 5 of the tanks would be in the middle of the street. And I figured I would just try and take out whoever the flag tank was first. Because, like, you don't have to focus on all the other tanks. As long as you destroy the flag tank, you win. There's no certain order in how you destroy the others. But it can make things easier if you try and focus on the other tanks. Turtle. I know it doesn't look like I'm doing much progress here, but sometimes you just have to keep doing this over and over again. It can be repetitive and annoying, but sometimes this is how you make progress in the matches. And there is Miho, who is driving the flag tank for Urai. Oh, I got protection. Everyone loves me. Wow. I'm looking forward to the later part of the match. You'll see why. Because I felt like, as I said earlier, sometimes you have to repeat what you're doing over and over again to make progress, but with this part of the match, I wanted to try and follow one of the other tanks that were going off to the right and try and attack them from behind, because it is much easier to destroy a tank if you shoot their rear as opposed to attacking them from the front constantly like what we're doing right now. Especially for a heavy tank like what Miho has. So here I am leaving the fight. I'm trying to attack Miho. I mean, as you can see on the top there, she does have some damage. I'm still at full health somehow. I don't think this is the part I was looking for forward to. What happened was I was trying to get underneath the bridge, but I accidentally went too fast and Kay's like, "Wah!" We'll get there eventually. The left armor got hit. This is why I did what I'm about to do right here. Wait for it. Still a stalemate. I also noticed my teammates were being attacked. I didn't want to leave them out in the dust. I mean, I know I'm the flag tank, but you got to make sure you keep your other teammates around so you can stay alive and keep the match going. And Rabbit. Rabbit. You have a really cool tank. I like the M3 Lee with the 2 turrets and whatnot. But the way they operate it! And I get that they're freshmen, but still. That's no excuse for tankery. If they were in Maho's class, she'd probably kill them. Now we finally get towards the most exciting and, in my opinion, the funniest part of the match, where I try to go around and flank Miho. Of course, I was also taking fire myself, so that's also why I decided to try and take cover underneath the bridge. It's a good thing Kawashima's not operating the gun anymore, otherwise you'd probably be dead already. There we go. That's the part I wanted to see. And of course, the moment I do decide to move under the bridge, that's when the match ends. We finally won! That was a good fight. I especially loved... you probably already know what I'm going to say. I just mentioned it like 5 times. What's it like to be beaten black and blue? Why those colors? Why not red and blue? They look nicer together than black and blue. Or how about silver and blue? Yukari, she loves tanks in general. Saunders will take on anyone, anytime. This part of the conversation I don't care much for. I mean, it's like, what is worrisome? Hey, you have like a lot of students. No wonder why their portions are double. And Saori's the one to be talking. She's trying to make herself thick. She still doesn't have a boyfriend. Being flashy is fine. I think we got another Kelly's Heroes reference coming up soon. Yeah, there we go. And now Yukari's okay with being called Oddball. I mean, I guess she's glad to be a sergeant and not a private, as she literally just called Kay Kelly. Honestly, I gotta say, that's one of the best Clint Eastwood movies ever. I'm a big fan of MGM's movies in general. There's actually another one with Clint Eastwood I like called Where Eagles Dare. It's from 1968. It's about a bunch of these spies trying to steal a general that the Nazis kidnapped, and they're trying to sabotage D-Day. This will work! Takashi. I still think it would have been great if he was called Tadashi. As I said earlier, get the Big Hero 6 reference. Probably have Baymax play as Sergeant Oddball instead of Donald Sutherland. And then he's just like, Tadashi is here. The amusement park. And we're at St. Gloriana, 1v1. Now, I'm going to be honest. This was much easier than I anticipated. I'm going up against Darjeeling, who's in a Churchill. And they may not look like much, but Churchills are actually very powerful tanks. I wonder if you brought your listening ear today. They always bring that up. Alice is probably going to get pissed off very soon. Almost. They seem to have not caught on to our sarcasm. Kay is not a two-faced person. Does she look like Voldemort to you? I am actually referring to part of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. There's an ending where Voldemort literally has 2 faces. And since Darjeeling here is supposed to be British, that just seemed like a perfect opportunity to make a Harry Potter reference. And is it just me, or did they give her bigger breasts? Because I feel like they were shorter than in the TV series. Forgive me if you're not comfortable with me bringing this up, but I feel like they've made Kay's breasts shorter as opposed to how they were in the TV series, and they did the opposite for Darjeeling. Like, they were shorter, and now they're just making them bigger. Maybe the people that create this series know who's watching this and what they really want to see. Why does my flag have to be red? I want blue. Darjeeling's lucky. Or if Kay was in command, she'd probably get the American flag. It would be cool, though. You could get, like, flags from the nationalities of your tanks. Like, you could have Kuromorimine be German, since that's what they're supposed to be based off of. And I forgot, as you probably just noticed, there's actually a weak spot on the front of the Churchill instead of the back. I did not notice that, but as you can see, she's going up the hill for whatever reason, making it very easy for me to attack her. And with a couple more shots, she will be defeated. She's on fire. Surprised she doesn't try to get out. You know, like, the tanks usually don't explode, but how do they even survive when you do destroy them? Like, how does that work? Whatever the answer is, I'm just glad that no one actually gets killed and they just keep on having fun with all the tanks. Yeah, I'm also pretty happy to have the Sherman because it is very fast compared to everything else. You can just literally just go all around them in circles. The tankettes, of course, are faster, but the CV-33s, they suck. They literally just shoot bullets. They don't shoot shells. And yet somehow, when you do the special mission where Katusha has the German mouse, it's complicated to take on 5 tankettes. Like, they'll really go all over the place. They're more like a sports car, to be honest. Today's match did seem like 2 people dancing. Jeez, could you imagine if the Revolutionary War had tanks? I do hip-hop sometimes. I don't know if she's referring to doo-wop or, you know, like, actual hip-hop. Because usually when I hear music with Saunders, it's either the army keeps rolling along, like the U.S. Field Artillery March, or 50s rock and roll, which some people typically refer to as doo-wop. Having tea with your rival. That's St. Gloriana's Panzerfahren. Or Senshido. Or if you're English, or if you speak English like me, Tankery. This is the most sacred part of this video. Watching Kay smile as she runs towards her friends with a big happy grin on their face. What do you mean somehow? You just took on a Churchill all by yourself. And why do they keep talking as if there were others in there? I mean, I get that they change it up at times, like it's very random. Like, I remember the very first time I tried doing this with Saunders, I actually had to go against Katusha and her friends from Pravda. But we were out in an open field, and like, my Shermans, we didn't stand a chance. Those T-34s and everything else the Russians had, they literally tore us to pieces. It's a good thing we didn't have to fight Russia in World War II. Otherwise, they probably would have killed us, and then they'd continue ruling everything with Nazi Germany, if Hitler didn't betray them. There was one time, though, when I did play as Pravda, the conversation that Kay and Katusha had is very different from what you're about to see. Well, this part's kind of similar. Like, Kay always pops up with a big smile, as always, and it's like, "Hi, Katusha!" But when you're playing as Katusha, she's like, "Oh, great, happy-go-lucky as usual. Be serious for once!" And of course, Kay always does take things seriously. But it's good to, you know, have a cheerful personality. Even in hard times, it can be very helpful. Where is Nona? Oh, there she is. As strong as the Siberian Railway. As cute as Matryoshka dolls. The world shall know of Katusha's cuteness. Man, I thought she would have been insulted. But she seems okay with that now. Everyone at Pravda loves Katusha. Oh, she's turning into a hippie. We are now in the Cold War, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Alice is losing her mind. You know, since I mentioned the Cold War, I just thought about Vietnam. Did they have any tanks? If so, what would they use? And more importantly, who would they want to fight against the most? Because I remember France actually used to occupy that country prior to 1954. I think it was also called French Indochina. They'd probably want to fight against the Maginot School, or BC Freedom, then take on Saunders. But then again, I think you're only supposed to have tanks from World War II, so maybe there wouldn't be anything from Vietnam. But I could be wrong. Ah, Maho. What's Black Forest Peak got to do with this? Of course, that means Kuromorimine. I mean, we just still refer to it as Kuromorimine in the English dub for some reason. We don't call it Black Forest Peak. But it does make sense. I mean, Black Forest is part of Germany. It's one of the things I want to go see when I do decide to go visit Germany. If I remember correctly, I think it was my great-great-grandfather. He moved from Germany to America sometime in the late 1920s, so that was almost 100 years ago. Other parts of my family during and before that time period, as early as like the 1700s, they came from the United Kingdom, Britain to be exact, Norway, and the Netherlands. That was on my mom's side anyway. My dad's side, I really don't remember. It could have been Poland and France. You know, I'm still amazed that tanks have weak spots in the front. I only thought that was the back. But as you can probably see, we are having a complicated time. Kay's like, it's pretty tough. But the cool thing is you can go faster than they do, so you have a much easier time evading fire. Unlike these five. But it can be complicated to shoot while moving. So here what I'm doing is I'm trying to get cover for my friends. Trying to figure out a way to get back out there and attack more. Clara, I'm sorry. And for some reason, Kay said we were hit, but I think we still have full health. I can't see where the health bar is. Maybe it only pops up when you actually... Oh, wait, never mind. I am so stupid. It was right in front of me the whole time. And as I said, it is still full. So why Kay was like, no, we're hit. I don't get that. Maybe she's trying to impersonate the tank I shot at, but I really don't know. Yes, our advantage. Especially now they got the full act thing. Why am I not using it? I forget sometimes in the heat of the moment. You know, you just keep on trying to destroy a tank that's trying to obliterate you. It is not always easy to remember stuff when you are trying to destroy those tanks. Now, both of us are down to 4. We each lost 1 tank. Oh. I thought the tank was going to fall onto its side or something. Why I just shot it after it got defeated, I have no idea. But now, there's only 2 left. It's fair play! You know, she's got to be impersonating the tank we're attacking because we're still at full health. And she's like, no, we're hit. Even though we haven't been hit yet. I apologize for that. I got a game notification, but it's not important. I'm looking over my match. It's too bad I couldn't make it all the way. I did see some other YouTube videos about this game and what it's like when you do win as Saunders. And I gotta say, the way they have Kay, she would make a really good 007 spy. Or maybe an American version. Especially since they always have men as the main protagonists and that kind of stuff. Be nice to see what a girl would be able to accomplish. We lost. Don't mind it, Katusha. It is during a loss that the commander has to act properly. Yes, that is true. What a shame he got scolded. And now she's about to get scolded. I think she's the youngest team member of Saunders. I mean, there's lots of others we haven't met yet. Judge me all the tanks they have. Leave it to Nona to figure out everything. Weeding grass on the Siberian plains. Well, it's nice that you're going to pay them. You know, compensate for having them do your work. 30 days. That would be interesting. Now we're in the détente moment of the Cold War. After the battle, everyone's just becoming friends and like, hey, come visit us, do this, and we'll do this. Nana's making Katusha do everything. We lost. In order to win the next time, we must also undertake the punishment. Hey, maybe, they can visit Saunders. And then they could, stop Ikari and the other girls from Urai worrying about those calories. I think that's also why Kay has all the big amounts of food and everything. You know, you gotta share. As my friend Jack told me yesterday, sharing is caring. It could also be Saunders' version of Lend-Lease. She's sounding like Anzio. Tankery really is not that easy, but it is enjoyable to see all the other characters and what they go through while fighting others in tanks. This, I hate. You're always going up against All-Stars University team at Alpine, and you have to go along this dirt road while a bunch of tanks fire at you. I've only been able to accomplish this when I was Pravda. I really cannot believe that I still cannot believe that I pulled this off. I mean, with all the strong tanks that they've got on their team. I still forget that the tanks they have were also in World War II. They got like Pershings, Chaffies. They look more like something you'd see in Korea. But then again, the tanks that they have were built during like the final stages of World War II. There's also a British tank they have called the Centurion, which was built in 1945. But I don't really think the British were able to use it in any battles. I could be wrong though, so do correct me in the comments section if I am. Oh, Alice is getting roasted. I actually have a boss at work. Her name is similar. It's actually Allison, not Alissa. I gotta show her this and see how she reacts to having a character with a similar name to her. Like, hey Allison, check this out. There was another time where I was able to accomplish this. This wasn't during a domination match though. This was just I think one of those extra matches where you can unlock stuff. I was Irwin and I was driving the Assault 3. And I actually just literally went through the entire thing without firing at anyone. I thought I wouldn't be able to do that at first when I was recording this. So here you can see me trying to attack Azumi But I'm at a very far distance, so she literally can't do anything about it. Weak spot. Couple more shots and she'll be down. She can't hit me. I mean, I still lost, but the fact that she was having a tough time trying to hit me while I was literally bombing her, that kind of sucks. Azumi, you need more practice. What are you doing? Here I go. I'm charging. I also figured that if I got closer, I could do more damage as opposed to what I'm currently doing right here. Which is almost down anyway. You can see the flames behind her turret. Still going. It is working. Her turret's so slow. I was actually worried that I was going to fall off the map. Which is why I was going backwards to make the last shot. Ow! Okay, I'm supposed to... Ooh! Another punchy. But for some reason they call him Boko. Wow, okay, he just doesn't care. It's like, okay, teddy bear's dead. Let's go. When I kill the first one, she's like, no, the poor thing is so harmless. I was like, no, it can't be helped. Oh, there's another one. I couldn't see it, though. Like, I'm literally looking all over. For some reason, I couldn't find it. Maybe it was on the other side. But here, this is where I screwed up. I really thought I had to stay back and try and fight the others. But at least I hit a weak spot here. I think if I just kept doing this more frequently... Well, I actually am. But, like, if I could have just done that with the other tank, I probably could have done it, but they're not in a good position, as you can see right here. Plus, it's not always easy to see with the grass and the bushes. But judging by the slope, I probably wouldn't be able to pull it off anyway. They're giving me a lot of damage at this part, so... Here, I decided to use my special ability, make a run for it, try to get to the checkpoint without getting killed. But it didn't go as well as I intended. If I just left there faster, instead of staying there constantly like I did, I probably would have been able to pull it off, but this is where I screwed up, especially when I'm not looking where I'm going. I've been putting out fire with gasoline. I literally just thought about that song by David Bowie. One of my favorite songs that he ever did was also in Inglourious Bastards, the 2009 version. Ooh, I really thought that shortcut would have helped, but somehow I still got killed. Like, I really thought this would have been a safe spot for me, as I went so far away. But coming up pretty soon, there I am. It's over! It's All-Star. You knew you were going to lose. I mean, it really isn't that easy to win 5 times, but to tell you the truth, I am pretty pleased with how far I've gone. I know I could have done much better at this point, but I'm really proud of myself that I made it this close to the ending. I know it really could have gone much better, but at the same time, it could have been much worse. I could have died at the first stage like I did earlier when I was going against Pravda in the open field. So I'm just grateful I was able to do what I accomplished. Thank you for joining me, and I will have another video soon where I do another domination match, but as Maho from Kuromorimine.